Channel 6, WJBF Augusta.
From Augusta's news station, this is NewsWatch 6 with Rick Sykes and Kim Skeen. George Myers with the weather. And sports with Bob Lowry.
Good evening. A declassified report released in Washington today shows the Salvadoran government knew within days the identities of the 5 guardsmen who murdered 4 American churchwomen in El Salvador. Instead of fully investigating the 1980 slayings, the report claims Army officers staged a cover-up to conceal the names of the killers from the outside world. The documented evidence comes on the same day that all 5 former soldiers were found guilty in the incident which has soured relations between that country and the U.S. Congress. However, the House today voted on 2 key military aid bills for Central America.
The House first approved $62 million in emergency military aid that the president had requested for El Salvador, then turned around and refused to okay any more money for the administration's secret war in Nicaragua. Intelligence Committee Chairman Edward Bolden told his colleagues aid to the so-called Contras has made things worse, not better.
We simply must not appropriate one more penny to wage a war that has caused our allies to wonder at our sense of proportion, that has turned Central America into an armed camp.
Republican leader Bob Michael insisted that ending the CIA-sponsored rebel aid sends the wrong signal to the rest of the world.
What we do today affects not just Nicaragua, but the entire world. And if we cut off funds for the Contras, our allies will perceive us as weakening in resolve in the fight against the Moscow-Havana-Managua axis.
The House vote of 241 to 177 to cut off all aid could force the CIA-backed rebels to shut down most of their activities in the next month or two. Vic Ratner, ABC News at the Capitol.
In other news, Congress, rushing to beat a midnight deadline tonight, raised the national debt limit by $30 million. Technically, the government would have run out of money and would not have been able to pay its bills. Rick?
There have been several interesting developments in the drug trafficking trial of John DeLorean out in Los Angeles. Defense attorneys said today they have proof supporting a recent news report that claimed presidential counselor Edwin Meese personally coordinated DeLorean's arrest. They also say the location of his arrest was chosen based on where officials thought they could get the most publicity.
DeLorean's defense attorneys charged today that the arrest of the former automaker on drug trafficking charges was masterminded at the White House by presidential counselor Edwin Meese.